In this course, we will learn about correlation and regression. If you look at a scatter plot of data, sometimes relationships between what you have plotted on the x-axis and what you have plotted on the y-axis become very apparent. The easiest one to demonstrate is a simple linear relationship between two variables. As one variable increases, the other variable also increases at a constant rate. For example, if you look at a graph that has data on miles driven on the x-axis and gallons of gas consumed on the y-axis, those data points will be pretty close to a straight line. Correlation is finding a relationship between two or more sets of data. It measures the strength of the relationship and the direction of the relationship. The variable that causes the observed change is called the independent variable and is often represented by x. The dependent variable, represented by y, is affected by changes in x. When plotting a scatter plot, the independent variable goes on the x-axis and the dependent on the y. For example, you could plot the gas consumed by your car as a function of the number of miles driven. Miles driven would be your independent variable, and the gas consumed, which changes as miles driven changes, would be your dependent variable. Another example would be hours worked at an hourly job and the size of your paycheck. Think for a moment about which would be the dependent and independent variables. Again, the example is hours worked at an hourly job and the size of your paycheck. In this case, the paycheck changes as a function of the hours worked. So the paycheck size is the dependent variable and the hours worked the independent variable. In both of those examples, when the independent variable increased, the dependent did as well. This is called a positive correlation. But there could also be a negative correlation between variables. For example, consider hours spent practicing swimming and the length of time that it takes you to swim 100 meters. Typically, more hours of practice, the independent variable, would lead to a shorter time to swim the distance, the dependent variable. Let's do a few more examples. If exam score is your dependent variable, what might your independent variable be? The independent variable needs to be something quantitative that will impact exam score as the independent variable changes. So one example could be the number of hours you study, or perhaps the number of classes you attend, or the number of pages in your textbook that you read. There are other possibilities as well. As you go throughout your day, see if you can think of some more examples of correlation. They are all around you.